there is a group of people in our real estate market that everyone is expecting them to make the change in the real estate market, and they're not your typical investor. They're not the people that are over leveraged. They're not the people that need or want or have to retire. It's a specific type of buyer in Canadian real estate that kind of matured and they did everything right. Last decade, last 2 decades, they went to school, they saved, and now they are expected to buy in this climate and market in Canadian real estate. So I just want to talk about that. And I believe personally that many people will be shocked and surprised because it seems that these young professionals, young buyers that did everything right, that are trying to do everything right in order to build a home, to build a root, are not willing to be stuck with payments. They're not willing to be stuck with the stress. Now, let me pause for a second. When I say they're not willing, I don't think that they believe that the actual, I would say, real estate market will provide a benefit in the near future, right? Like they went through school, they went through a lot of debt, they went through a lot of borrowing, a lot of stress, tuitions are expensive, and all of that fight to graduate. And then when they do, the environment of saving is extremely difficult. Now, after a while, when I spoke to these young individuals and young couples, their biggest issue is getting rid of their current lifestyle because most of the time they live together, they rent. That rent is cheap or much, much cheaper than actual purchase. Then we have the situations where these folks live at their parents' home and they can save tremendous amounts of money and they can enjoy a lifestyle. So the question is, why would they risk all they have, which is the savings of 20 to 30%, to be able to get into the market, invest in something that's fairly shaky, fairly unstable at the moment, and it's actually feathering down. It's not collapsing overnight, but it's definitely collapsing slowly, right? So that's how they interpret that. So now the expectation of spring market of 2026 that all of a sudden these young individuals or young couple or people with some savings on the sideline will knock down the door and all of a sudden we will have a multiple offer boom market situation that we have experienced a few times in the last decade or 2 decades. So I personally believe, from my point of view, that they're not willingly to go through that type of pain, right? Because the mathematical equation doesn't work, right? Like even if they have good jobs, it just doesn't work. So there's a few times that I have heard, not every case is the same. Let's make that clear. But I've heard that these individuals are saving, enjoying their life, creating some type of a lifestyle, and they're just waiting for that inheritance, that equity that someone else has built, their parents, their grandparents, family, you name it, right? So it's just it's crazy and sad at the same time because the folks that are kind of graduated the life graduation and they're retiring, right? They themselves need those funds to move forward. it definitely feels like it, because these corner homes, and I have explained in many of my other videos how taxes are not bearable, right? Like most pension plans and most pensions for these current Canadians cannot fit into their current lifestyle, housing, vehicle transportation, medication, and all of the above, right? It just doesn't fit the budget. So, what can happen? There's a couple of things, like a couple of scenarios, I would say it can happen. So, one is they sell, right? And they retire somewhere else. Second is they stay in the house and then the families merge, which is unlikely because younger people have a different lifestyle, different perception, and they're not taught maybe to live among elder people, right? So those like that shift, all of a sudden that corner lot, corner monster house becomes a heavy burden for many families, right? So I heard many like Italian families, they're big into that, living all together. Asian families, Portuguese families back in the day and whatnot, right? Like, doesn't have to be detailed, but I'm just giving examples. So like right now, like it is extremely rare to see or that someone is even suggesting that, right? Like in order for these, let's say, financial situations and financial plans to be at ease, or to kind of make all of that portfolio to be carried easier, it seems like that's not even a question anymore, right? And so what's the future? I mean, like now we are depending on that next generation to pull the plug, or to pull that trigger to get into that real estate market, so we could actually move that economy forward, and we can have these transactions move because of need and necessity. And I don't think that it's happening. And I sincerely believe, and this is only my opinion, do your own research. I believe that in the next decade, that real estate in Canada will see a complete shift. Not not a shift in terms of any gains. It could see shifts slowing down. It could see shifts in lifestyle, and it's already happening with the younger generation. It could see shifts with so many things. Like it's hard to predict. Like it seems like we cannot even predict 6 months out. But I just believe that the next generation is basically giving up being a family that suffers, or it's pressured on every biweekly or weekly mortgage payment that is extremely ludicrous, high, not affordable, and in many cases not even doable in a normal, secure environment. So I hope you gained some value out of this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.